So now you've got Grant Cardone partnering with the Nigerians. The Nigerians, so Grant Cardone now, you heard it first here from me. And this is not anything recent. I mean, they announced this kind of several months ago, but I don't follow Grant Cardone. I don't follow these knuckleheads either. But apparently, Grant Cardone is now getting in. He's got his cult. All these guys have cult followings. You know that. There's enough folks. Anybody in the fucking world, mark my words, write this down as a fact. You can take the dumbest, most annoying idiot in the world, and if they are constantly blabbering, if they're constantly coming on ScamTube or wherever and just making videos, they will eventually create a cult. Okay? There will be people that don't realize that the person is an idiot. They'll forget that they gave them bad advice or whatever. You will create a cult. It doesn't matter who it is. The key is going on, showing your face and blabbering every day. Okay? This is why you run into people who are cult members of obvious scam artists like, say, Tom Nash or Meet Kevin, right? And they want to sit there and tell you that they're not scam artists. You're wondering, like, how can they not know this? You see? That's why all these cults exist. So Grant Cardone obviously has a cult because all he does is blabber. And this guy wants to tell you how much money he's making and this and that, yet his time is not even important because all he's ever doing is making fucking videos. And you know why? Because that's the source of his money, sucking stupid people in to his overpriced bullshit real estate investments. And I'd be willing to bet, you're probably not even getting 6% off of his investment returns on real estate by the time it's all said and done. 6% is a joke. I don't even think you get that. And let me just go ahead and reiterate. Never, ever invest in any of these real estate deals. You'll see them now promoted in the media, in these written articles. Jeff Bezos, he's investing, $100. Don't ever invest in any type of real estate investment project that's not on the stock market. If you're investing in any type of real estate, and these are basically crowdfunding and or private equity deals, if you're investing in those types of deals, guaranteed, chances are, I would say, and I'm willing to bet, I don't want to guarantee it, but I would say in every case, you're going to underperform. You're going to underperform and or the risk is going to be much higher than the returns. Think about it. Why would I say that? What's my basis for that? It's quite simple, folks. Anybody who's lowering the bar, right? In other words, if you're lowering the bar, I can start a real estate investment company right now to appeal to all the idiots on YouTube, right? It's easy. Anybody can do it. Meet Kevin did it, right? There's a big difference between doing that and starting a legitimate real estate company that you can take public. Okay? You understand? If you're going to take it public, you're going to have underwriter scrutiny. You're going to have institutional support. You're going to have a lot of due diligence, a lot of sophisticated investors going through and assessing things. You see? That's why all these people are pushing all this shit on YouTube, all these real estate, even Fundrise and all that. That's all bullshit. That's all fucking bullshit. If they were legit, they'd be on the stock market. That's a goddamn fact. Okay, I don't understand how people don't even realize this, but stay away from any real estate investment that's not on the stock market. Okay, if you want to pay somebody money to run some real estate investment on the retail side, you're a fucking idiot. Okay, you go with a publicly traded company that has all kinds of transparency, all kinds of very high standards, okay, and also has virtually unlimited access to capital. You don't go with some bullshit like what Grant Cardone can only sell his shit to idiots. That's why he's all on YouTube all the time. You got it? Think about it. You got it? These people know where the dumbasses are. YouTube, the biggest audience of fucking dipshits. So now Grant Cardone has got his little cult of idiots. He's going to pitch the whole stock trading and options trading scam through the Nigerians to these people. That's the business he's getting into. Think about that. Okay? And they're going to pitch their courses and all their... That's what they're going to start out with, is they're going to sell courses. If you're trying to sell some type of content, and especially understand, these guys are being positioned as trading experts. I have seen no evidence that John nor Pete Nigerian has a fucking rat's ass clue how to trade anything. In fact, I'm willing to bet they can't. I'm willing to bet these guys don't know shit other than kind of picking up some things from what they've heard from guys that they hire to run their little trading services. That's what they do. They hire guys. Okay? So Cardone is going to use his used car salesman pitch to his little cult members of fucking dumb sheep. Tell them these guys are top. He's already said, oh, these guys are some of the top guys in the Wall Street. No, they're fucking not. These guys are clowns. That's why they were on CNBC. They're fucking clowns. Okay? Folks, real people who know how to trade, why do they want your money? Why are they selling courses? Why don't they run their own fund? Huh? Right? And the reason why is they can't trade. They're selling you an illusion. Anybody that's selling any type of courses or information that's not high level, that's not going to give you a competitive advantage, well, they're a scammer. Write it down. To someone like myself, who's a provider of very high level insight and knowledge, unique insight that provides a competitive advantage, I take offense. If I look at what people are charging for their courses and the content, I should be charging, if you do a comparison, I should be charging $1 billion per course. Okay? My point is that you write it down. Each and every one of these people selling courses, they're a scammer because they are selling overpriced generic horse shit. And they got that knowledge from reading some low-level little fucking book. And the sad thing is that probably only 5% or 10% of the information from that book is in their little courses. And this is what the stupid people who buy these courses don't know. The stupid, lazy people who think they can watch a video and become educated. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. There you have it. Speaking of people increasingly who have channels who are advertising on ScamTube, there you have it. You got Grant Cardone's free real estate investment training. Let's take a look.
Hey, this is what I do almost every weekend, shopping real estate. You're probably not going to start with that deal right there or the one that I'm standing inside of right now, Sunday morning, but you need to start somewhere, okay? In about a week, less than a week actually, I'm going to be doing a live training for free. Show you how to get started in the real estate game.
Folks, let me tell you something. Getting started, anyone who pitches like real estate education, right? Packages, courses, training, they're a scammer. There's no secrets to real estate, folks. There's no secrets. You buy low and you sell high. There's no fucking secrets. In fact, you could argue real estate has been one of the earliest areas where scammers got into, right? That's the first thing they got into decades ago. pitching the whole real estate horseshit, Carlton Sheets, Tom Vu, so on and so forth. Yet people still don't realize there's no fucking secrets. Nobody has any secrets. There's no special knowledge. There's nothing. If you think there is, all you got to do is a few searches online. If you don't know about a few things, it's not a big deal. The key thing is understanding if you're getting a good value. Okay? Understanding what's going on in the market. Analysis, which is what I do. And these guys that sell all this real estate bullshit hype, they don't do that. They're just selling you fucking delusions and bullshit. They cater to the broke, lazy, and most importantly, greedy people. The broke, lazy, greedy people. Oh, I can show you how to make $1 million in real estate with no money down. Okay. I've already exposed George Gammon several years ago. Yes, I know George Gammon very well. He's another failed real estate agent who jumped on the gold pumping bandwagon scene. Nobody knows that scene better than me. Okay? He jumped on aboard that bandwagon to pump gold. The whole doomsday, stock market's going to collapse, the economy's bad, and he makes all this money having all these seminars, these economic summits featuring all scam artists, the whole fucking army. Just take a look on his channel, go and see his little economic summits, and you can see all the scammers there. It's a whole big shit show, a circle jerk of fraud and scam artists. It's the same song and dance, folks, whether it's George Gammon doing it or whomever. It's the same MO, the same business model. Patrick Bet-David does the same thing, by the way. He has his little events as well. You all understand. I've been explaining all this stuff. No credible person offering you high-level stuff, really advanced stuff, in other words, things that you think that are worth money to pay for. None of those people are ever going to be on YouTube, ever. Now, once again, the most important thing you should do in your life is to understand my track record of who the fuck I am and my credentials. I don't like to talk about myself. And in fact, many things about me and my credentials that I don't really think of much because I look at results. When I want to tell you about my credentials, I'm going to tell you about my fucking results. That's all that matters in my business as an analyst, right? However, if, people like Tom Nash, Meet Kevin, all these other scammers, Ty Lopez, whomever, if they had my credentials in terms of my educational pedigree, that's all you'd hear about. In fact, Tom Nash is so proud. He thinks it's so great. He wants to tell you he went to the University of Michigan. He's always wearing the University of Michigan shirt. He didn't go there. Well, I'm not going to brag about going to state school. If I'm going to brag, I'm going to brag about going to an Ivy League fucking elite school, which is where I went to school, which I don't talk about. Why? It doesn't fucking matter. But if these scam artists went to an Ivy League university, you better believe you'd hear about it every fucking day, 10 times a day. If any of these scam artists were paid money by the National Science Foundation to conduct research like I was in chemistry, you better believe you'd hear about it every fucking day, 10 times a day. You probably never knew that about me, did you? Never heard that, have you? Okay? Why? I don't need to go by that shit. I've got real shit. I predicted the goddamn financial crisis. What are you talking about? Right? You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to get to know who I am, because once you get to know who I am and my credibility, then you're going to believe these things I'm telling you. So yeah, I believe it. Because when I come out and tell you things like, well, all these guys pitching real estate courses and education and seminars, it's all a scam. It's all bullshit. It's difficult to prove that. That's a very wide, broad statement. That comes with expertise and knowledge and experience, right? So it's going to be difficult for you to believe that. So it's more important for you to understand the source that you're hearing it from. Now, if you can even show me someone who's pitching, let's say, a real estate program or course or whatever, who is not a sleazy snake oil salesman, scam artist. I don't want to say that here, but you're not going to be able to find that person. Now, if you think you can, then you have poor judgment. They're all sleazy used car salesmen, and they're all pitching bullshit. Okay? All of them. And it's not just now. Folks, that's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always been.
terms of getting back as an investor, if it's coming down to here, almost irrespective of what's going on, I have to believe, if I have to make a call in advance, and of course I can change depending on what happens, but I have to believe this is where you want to start doing that 18, 17, around there. Their earnings report is a complete game changer, at least for quite a while. Bottom line, NVIDIA now is going to enter the realm of Tesla, Apple, and all these other big, I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works. I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works.